Hello and welcome to today's United Kingdom talk. Oh, my name's Chris Reardon. I've just remembered I haven't done something. Just a minute. My screen at the back has got to be restarted. There we are. Screen at the back. Oh, while I'm talking about the screen at the back, those of you that watch the show will notice there's a TV, flat screen TV thing on the wall behind me. Now, it's been there a few months. And the whole idea is it gives you something else to look at rather than my ugly face and today, incidentally, my unironed shirt. Now, it may not look to you like it's actually unironed because that's the beauty of non-HD television and video, right? If this was a HD camera that I had in front of me, then I would have had to iron the shirt. But as it's not HD, there's two wonderful things about non-HD TV is that you often cannot see the lines on people's faces, and also you don't have to be too worrying about the shirt. You know what I mean? I thought I'd give that a quick mention. And the jeans, I haven't bothered ironing the jeans either because you can't actually see them on non-high definition telly. I'm sitting here in this bag of old rags today, like an old sack around my thing, which incidentally the shirt is quite loose because I don't know if I was supposed to tell you 2 days ago I have had another weigh in. I'm now 13 stone 2 pounds. That was actually 5 days ago. All right, so we're coming down slowly. Remember when I came back from holiday I was 13 stone 9 pounds, far too heavy. I'm now 13 stone 2 pounds, and my next weigh in is actually in a couple of days time. Because I forgot to tell you. I'm sure I forgot to tell you a couple of days, so I just thought I'd bring that up. So the shirt is actually fitting quite nicely now. I'm not convinced that I need to lose much more. I reckon about another 4 pounds, and that should do it. Which, incidentally, will be around Easter. Actually, it's Easter now, isn't it? Yes, happy Easter, boys and girls. Happy Easter. May all your eggs be chocolate ones. Don't eat too many, dear. Okay? Don't make the mistake of eating 10 chocolate eggs. Have a whole one. Yes, go on. Easter Sunday, have a whole Easter egg. Force yourself. My favourite Easter eggs, incidentally, are Cadbury's Flake ones. Cadbury's, of course, now owned by the American group Kraft. Let's hope that they don't try and improve the recipes. Why do people do that? Eh? Why do large companies come along, like Coca-Cola? Do you remember that fiasco years ago? Coca-Cola brought out a new, improved flavour Coke, and no one liked it. They lost business. When you get, I never understand this, why companies, and indeed people, they have something successful, right? And then they start changing it to try and improve it. And it doesn't, because you've already got a product that everyone likes. I've had this done to me, incidentally, while I've been DJing in places. It was a very large place in London I worked at called Heaven. And I was there for 3 years. And I always remember the manager coming in. What an idiot. What an idiot. He came in. What's it? I'm trying to remember. His name was David. David someone or other. The manager of Heaven, David someone or other. And he walked into my particular room one night. There was about, I don't know, 150, 200 people in there, all dancing. You could not get a cigarette paper in between the people because there were so many in there. And he came up to me after about 3 years and said, well, Chris, you've done really well in here. We want you to try something else now. And you look at him in disbelief. You've got a product that works, and you now want to change it so that you are still, quote, cutting edge. It's ludicrous. Anyway, we did change the night, and very, very quickly it dropped off, and it never recovered. Within weeks, the room had gone from packed to a quarter full. So what happens? Reardon loses his job, doesn't he? Chris Reardon loses his job. Called into the office. We don't think it's working anymore. We'll give you a call. It was like that. But I didn't say anything, you know, in case they rang. Of course they didn't. They never do. But you just sit there thinking how stupid people are to change things that are working. It's happened to me a few times, actually. That's the only time I really lost out with that one, because they need, after they've given you this idea and then let you get on with it, it's then your fault that it goes wrong, even though you didn't agree with it in the first place. But what do? You can't stand there and disagree. It's the manager, isn't it? It's the manager. You can't disagree with it. It's just ridiculous. Coca-Cola, that lovely... Well, I like Coca-Cola out of a can, not a bottle, not a plastic one. I don't know why. I've mentioned this before, but cans of Coke or glass bottles of Coke, very nice. Plastic bottles of Coke, strange, but very different taste. And they have a winning formula for years. And then some bonzo came along and changed the recipe. And this is what I hope does not happen to Cadbury's chocolate now that Kraft own it. Anyway, fingers crossed with that one, innit? I did see the managers of Kraft on a television programme the other day. Apparently, according to this, it was a news programme, apparently they had promised to keep a certain factory in the UK open when they took over the firm, and then have now gone back on that and said, no, we're going to close it now that they own Cadbury's, which is outrageous, isn't it? That is just outrageous. Giving a promise like that, and then once they had the company, they've gone back on it. I'm not impressed at all with that company. I'm not interested in in the accounts or anything like that. If you say something, you should damn well follow it through, because that's not good. You know, don't come back to me with excuse. Oh, well, we can't afford it. Well, you should have known that. If you've got good accountants, you should damn well have known that before you took it over, shouldn't you? In fact, you probably did. Dare I say you might have been lying? Could I say that, perhaps? You might have been lying just to clinch the deal? Or am I just being a little bit, you know, a little bit wondering here? Anyway, there's an email address to the show. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. The screen behind me, as I say, usually shows some sort of film. Now, I don't have many films to show because it all takes time to make these things, right? At the moment, showing on the video screen behind me is a picture of Sydney Harbour Bridge and people walking around. And that's it. There's nothing too specific on the screen behind me. Just a general background film which I thought might add to the show. It does take a while to make all these films and to get a sort of library of them. And my question is, does this actually add to the show, those of you that are watching it, or not? Could I just as well take the screen down, put it in another one of my rooms, and get rid of one of the big old televisions? I was actually thinking of taking it down and putting it in the kitchen, because in the kitchen I've got a great big CRT, one of the old-fashioned televisions, and it sits in the corner and it takes up an awful lot of space. And I was thinking, if this doesn't really add to the show, shall I take that down and put it in the kitchen? Or do you think it does add to the show and I should just get out there and make a few more films to put on here? I'd like your thoughts on that, please. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Do you want the screen left where it is? Or shall I take it down, and what should I replace it with? If anything, I've got a black curtain just sitting behind me there. I mean, maybe I should just have the black curtain behind me and be done with it, or a shelf, or just a static picture. Your thoughts on that, please. My email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I always like to have your opinion if we're going to change something, you know, except my clothes, which I shall never change, eh? I've got a selection of coloured shirts and they're recycled. They've been recycled for years, those of you that have been with us. If you've never watched the show before and you are an MP3 listener, okay, because we have a lot more people listening than watching, why not try watching one? All you need to do is go to my main website, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and there you can see the videos of all the shows as well. Alrighty, okay, on to some emails. Now, I can't remember if I've read this one out or not. Silly old me. Alzheimer's disease starting to set in, boys and girls. Okay? Oh, I do have something wrong at the moment. I've got two things wrong at the moment. I have another corn on my foot. That's the second one, dear. Aren't those corn plasters marvellous? You just stick them on, you change them for a few days, and then the corn just falls off, doesn't it? Now, I go to the swimming pool in Bracknell most days of the week. I was kind of wondering about this, because often, you know, you've got your plaster on your foot and you start your swim, and by the end of the swim, the plaster's gone. So where is it? Has someone swallowed a plaster? How awful, dear. Has it been swallowed? What a dreadful thought. Eventually the cord, it just comes away, doesn't it? How clever is that? So I've got that wrong. I also have a bit of a bad back at the moment. Right at the bottom of the spine. And about, let me see, where is it? Where is the exact place? So it's sort of near the bottom of the spine and kind of to the left about an inch. Now, I was talking to my friend Gwen, you know, the lady who had cancer last year. She says it's my glucose maximus or something like that. I don't know what she's talking about, dear. And talking to Gwen, incidentally, she's coming along fine. She's very, very tired at the moment all the time. But we will get her on the show soon, all right? More likely she'll be on the live show, because that's always nice when you can talk to people live. If you've not seen the live show yet, very easy to watch that. Or just listen. You can watch or listen now. There's also a listen button, okay? All you've got to do is go to a slightly different site. Pay attention to this one, okay? UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. Now, have a look at that. UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. That's something else I'm running at the moment. There's a few of us involved on there. Tom Harris from TomHarrisUSA.com. He'll be doing a show on there very soon as well, a live show. All the shows are live on there. And when there are no live shows, we play recordings of the shows that have been on. Once again, that's UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. On that page, you'll see a large Listen Live button, or Listen Now button, so, like a Union Jack. That one will take you to the video show, all right? If you don't want to watch and you just want to listen, right next to it is a much smaller button which has got a play on it. Click on that, and that will take you just to the audio stream. And you click on the audio stream, and you'll get an announcement by me welcoming you to the station, and then either the live show will start playing, or indeed recordings of the live shows will play. All right, so that's how that works, and very enjoyable. I'm doing a live show on there Mondays between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. UK time. All right, Mondays 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. UK time. Okie doke then. Now I can't remember if I've read this one out yet or not, but let's do it again. I'm sure you won't mind. You won't mind if I do things twice, will you? From Paul. Hello, Paul. Who says, hello, Chris. Was listening to the podcast a couple of weeks ago when you were talking about the London Eye. It made me laugh as I felt exactly the same as you. The family, his family, were all walking round taking pictures while I was sitting glued to the seat in the middle waiting for the ride to end. Exactly the same as me, Paul. I hated it. Hated it. I am the Paul who used to talk to you when you worked on Offshore Music Radio. Yeah, that's a few years ago now, isn't it? Offshore Music Radio, that's another internet station playing the best of 60s music mainly. I think it was mainly 60s music and some 70s as well. Great little station to work on that with. The jingles were fantastic. Why did I stop working on there? I don't know really. I was getting very tired. I was doing an awful lot, and something had to give. And I'm afraid it was that. So that's why I don't do Offshore Music Radio. Lovely little station to work for, and fantastic music as well. Paul's been listening to the podcast since the start, so that's October 2005. He says, I may not communicate too much, but I do enjoy listening. Keep up the good work, and that's from Paul in Lowestoft, which I think is a little coastal town, isn't it, Lowestoft? I'm sure my nan used to go there, Paul. Have you got pictures of Lowestoft to send me, please? Send them in, dear. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Right, over to Poland. Now, here's someone we haven't heard from this one for must be over a year. I do remember people, okay? If you're one of these people that perhaps used to write in regularly, and you haven't done so for 1, 2, 3 years, whatever, if you send an email, I will remember you. That does kind of stick in my mind. I wouldn't have remembered it 10 years ago when I was going out to rave clubs and all that and doing all sorts of stupid things. You know what I mean, everyone? Anyone used to go to raves? Oh dear. Well, put it this way, it wasn't drink, okay? Oh, we've been there, we've done that, we don't want to do it again, thank you very much. People are often saying to me when I'm DJing somewhere, where are you going now, Chris, after I've finished it? 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, well, I'm going home. And they're like shocked. They're shocked. Aren't you going out anywhere? No, I'm not going out anywhere, dear. I want to go home. I want to watch Casualty on the telly and go to bed. I used to go to work, right? This is no word of a lie. I used to work at a place in Camden Town, and I would finish there at 3 o'clock in the morning. From there, I would drive home, right, change my clothes and go out. And I used to get to this club at 4:30 in the morning, and we would dance until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. On my life. Well, let me tell you, you can't do that on your own. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't. And I did that for years. But I'm actually going back, no, it's more than 10 years now. That must be going back 15 years. Do I regret doing it? No, not really. But it mucks your mind up, I tell you that now. I had the most terrible short-term memory loss. It was that bad at work the next night, because then I would, at 1 o'clock, I would then go to my mum's for dinner, right? I don't know what she used to think, because I've been dancing all night in these sweaty clothes, and I used to walk, I must have stank. Of course, she never said a word, neither did my dad, never said a word. And from there, I'd have like an hour's sleep at my mum's, and then go to work again Sunday night. And it got so bad at one point, I'd actually forget. I'd be looking through, because we were playing records at the time, I'd actually forget what record I was looking for while I'm looking through them. Terrible stuff. Terrible. But there you go. Yeah, so I do remember, if you write in you haven't done for ages and ages, then I will remember you, okay? Don't think you can run off and hide somewhere. I know, I will seek and find you, dear. I will. So, all the way to Poland. Hi, Chris. Nice to hear you again. Very good programmes. Good job. Thank you. I haven't been listening for a year or two now, and now I need a lot of time to catch up on listening. Well, yes, you do. There's 3 shows a week, dear. 3 a week, 4 a week now. There's 4 shows a week now. There's 3 half-hour recorded shows, of which this is one. And there's a 2-hour live show every week, dear. Mondays, 12 o'clock, UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. Be there, 12 o'clock UK time. Oh, by the way, has that mucked anyone up with the change of clocks? Because we're now on British summer time, okay? We are now on British summer time. Jersey says, Chris, Uric says, Chris, you are as regular as BBC television. Oh, BBC television bows the head. Oh, I can only ever hope in my wildest of dreams to be working for the BBC, God rest our souls. In a few years' time, people will have a problem to say who was first. The Chris Reardon United Kingdom talk or the BBC? I think you're right, lovey. I think you're right. I also see a big technological step forward. Video shows are fantastic. Blimey, you have been away a long time, haven't you? We've been doing these video shows for... Is it 2 years now? I think we've been doing these 2 years now. I started off with a little webcam in front of the computer. We progressed onto other webcams, and now I'm using a proper video camera. But for the live show, I do use a webcam for the live show. I watched 3 shows from Australia, one after the other. Lots of interesting information. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed those. Video is a really good option, but I hope that the MP3 audio version will still be available. Listening to MP3 player is more convenient to me. Yes, it will be. No, I've got no intention at all of stopping doing the audio show. In fact, the audio show is much more important than the video side of things to me, and I think to other people as well. I think I'm right in saying you could quite easily just do this in video. I just like to give the option of doing it on video as well, and then people on YouTube and Current TV and Blip TV, they sort of come into the into the fold of friends as well, don't they? All the best from Murek in Poland. Nice to hear you, sir. Okay, he hasn't been around for ages. Dear me. On YouTube, someone put a comment on the show dated the 12th of January, actually. Do you remember when I had a bad chest? When I was breathing and it was hurting, and I said I'd probably pulled a muscle, and the doctor agreed. This is from Scene Tragedy on YouTube, and they say, I pulled a muscle in my chest by coughing while I was in an awkward position. I wonder what position you were in then. Please, this is a family show. Let us not talk about these terrible, terrible things that you want me to talk about. I'm shocked and horrified, to be honest. Shocked and horrified, dear. Okie doke, let's have a look. This is from... Let me just get these in order, my darlings. Oh, this was a strange remark on again, one of the YouTube shows. It was from BKK Sugar Syrup. Everyone on YouTube, a lot of people on YouTube have strange names. So, and the comment was, this is made the comment on the show dated the 25th of November 2008. Okay, the comment was, what I expect on the street, I dance and can kiss handsome boy. Any ideas what that means? It's a bit cryptic, that one, isn't it? But thank you anyway. All comments are gratefully received, except the nasty ones, which are used as toilet paper. They really are. Feel free to send as many nasty ones in as you want, because I am always needing extra toilet paper. All right? Just to let you know what I do with those. Okay, from Pack Jim, 56, who has become a regular correspondent, haven't you, Pack Jim? Who writes a comment on the show for the Saturday the 27th of March, just last week. Just how much is your little cat secret worth, Chris? Oh, yes. Please don't tell anyone, will you? Okay? As I said before, here in the UK, we have what is called a council tax, right? The local authorities put a tax on your house, which you have to pay. This is known as the council tax, right? If there is only one person in the house, as is my case, you get a 25% discount off this tax. And, you know, my council tax here is over £1,000, so that's a lot of money. That's £250, right? But if circumstances change, you are supposed to tell them. And I did tell you a couple of shows ago, now, you know, keep this quiet, but I never informed them that the cat was living here as well. Because they'll use every excuse to get squeeze every last penny out of me, dear. And I share that with you, boys and girls, okay? The fact that I've got a cat here as well. She's downstairs at the moment, patrolling. She's checking for other cats. She's probably sitting at the front door, waiting for another cat to approach when she will hiss. She will hiss. She will hiss at the other cat. And I haven't told the council, so please, that's our secret. Pack Jim says, I'm trying to build on my retirement. What, he's trying to get money, is he? He said, all kidding aside, your back sounds like the beginnings of a sciatica problem. Stop all heavy lifting immediately. No heavy lifting whatsoever. Look into learning about sciatica stretches to strengthen your back. Look on some of the web pages. I ruptured 2 discs in my spine back in 1979. Heavy lifting over a period of 7 months. The warning signs start in the hip and then run down your leg. Now, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that, Pack Jim. However, the other people that I've spoke to, and I may go to the doctor next week, have said to me, have you got pains down your legs? And the answer to that is no. I also don't have a pain in my hip or anything like that. It's just a very localised pain right down the back. And it's certain, it's worse, okay? It's not so bad sitting here or even walking around. But it hurts more when I go from sitting to standing up. okay? I cannot straighten up quickly because that really is quite painful. So if I do it slowly, once I get to the standing position, it's not too bad. Although after saying that, it was particularly bad last night at work, right? But the night before, I had been doing sit-ups, so I wondered if I'd done the sit-ups too early after I thought I'd recovered, because it's brought it back again. So I'll lay off the sit-ups now for a couple of weeks until it's completely all right. I'll wait another week and then I might start doing them again. So thanks for your concern, Pat Jim. I don't think it's sciatica or whatever it's called. I'm sure it's not, because there's no shooting pains or anything like that. Okie doke. Hello to Jennifer. What's the time? Oh, we're running out of time here. Jennifer says, man, I've been so busy. But I've been wanting to write to you, but I'm sorry to say I've had to put you off. What a cheek. It's nearly midnight. Oh, geez, past midnight, and I have to be up 6 hours for another day in paradise with elves, cows, and books. Yes, Jennifer feeds cows and has kindly sent me in a picture of one of the cows. Big old thing it is. Look at it. Aren't they lovely creatures, cows? And isn't it awful that we eat them? You know, they're such placid animals, aren't they? They really are. The old man I work for, in feeding his cows, has become a bit incapacitated. Being that his wife died last July, I've been kind of holding him together. His wife did everything for him. That's just awful, isn't it? Awful. The poor man only has 2 teeth and basically lives off soup and soft foods. Well, why hasn't he got false teeth then? If he's a farmer, surely he can afford these things. I often bring him cookies and crackers from the cookie tree, but that's not a healthy diet. No, it's not, dear. You must have plenty of fruit and veg. Also, being that his knees are shot, he hasn't been getting around much, so his dietary intake has dwindled down to cans of chicken broth that he's been drinking out of the can. Oh, my God. And not taking his medications. It's been really tough this last month, and pleaded with his family to come down and assist him into getting some help. They've been slow to react, more or less in denial, but they finally arrived and they are overwhelmed at what this poor guy needs. He still manages to get bread and delivered to the cows, which is a must because if they get hungry enough, they will go through the barbed wire fencing. We have had 2 get out last week and they were roaming about the neighbourhood where their pasture is near. It's really fun because everyone thinks that they can lasso a cow and just end up looking like idiots when all you really do is give them a little pressure by approaching them. They'll move. And now cows are not nice, sweet, gentle animals. Really? They are always in fear that you are going to eat or hurt them. Well, I'm not surprised here. If a cow has a baby with her, she will charge you and run you over. That's all she has, and she'll do anything to protect it. Oh, look, poor things, dear. It's like some of the mothers in supermarkets with their prams, dear. They charge at you, they do. Out on my sister's 1,500-acre cattle ranch in Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the rain, where my husband lives, he lives on the ranch, we have over 450 Angus cattle, and them cows are horrid. She hates those cows. When we do the cattle roundup twice a year, it's usually fun moving them to the work pens, but you will encounter the mean mummers that will charge you on your horse and knock you down. Oh, this is a good email, isn't it? Blimey, but guess what? Guess what? We've run out of time. I'm sorry. So we're going to have to hold that. Oh, just found a bit of food on here. I don't know where that's come from. Oh, what's that? It looks like a cornflake or something. I'm sorry, boys and girls, but I'm going to have to cut that email short. I will read the rest of it. See, I'm making you stay. It's like the next episode. You won't get the rest of this email to the next show, I'm afraid. Thanks very much for watching and listening to the show. The other half of Jennifer emails on the next show. Do join in. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Bye-bye now.